What's going on, guys? It's been a while. 2 years, actually, exactly, since I've made one of these beekeeper data analytic videos, and that's for a couple reasons. One, I was kind of done. My experiment was over, so I kind of just gave it a rest. Two, I really kind of unplugged from beekeeping in general. I got busy with work and personal life. My partner did the same. And so for the last 2 years, I haven't seen a beekeeping video. I haven't collected an ounce of beekeeping data. I haven't even checked my hive. I'm down to 1 in 2 years. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I decided yesterday, being that it was exactly 2 years since the last time I collected data and shared it with you guys, why not see where we stand, see what's changed. And the results are a little surprising. Some things not so much, but probably more surprising than not, I guess, is where I'm at. This isn't going to be super in-depth. I'm going to kind of point out some highlight items, and then I'm going to share with you on the screen some of the main top 10 measurable metrics: top views, top subscribers, most videos, growth percentage. And then I have one more metric to share, which is kind of for the smaller channels, the highest average growth per video as a percentage over the last 2 years. With that said, this information is going to be based on the last 2 years alone, January 1, 2024 to January 1, 2026. That's where all these numbers come from. I didn't look at anything else, anything before that. So let's talk about a couple of the white elephants in the room. You know, when I stopped doing this, Texas Bee Works, the old blonde-haired vixen from Austin, she was steamrolling. Like, not just, I mean, it was the views, and it tons of views, tons of subscriptions, but as a percentage of the beekeeping YouTube market, I use the word market loosely, the broader, the whole pie of viewership for beekeeping on YouTube, she had a gigantic percentage of it. What's interesting about her is she really slowed down. In the last 2 years, granted, she did have 243 million views, which is a lot. However, the trajectory flattened significantly. She was on an exponential growth curve, and she really started to flatten out. So not sure what that's about. She did still gain 450,000 subscribers in the last 2 years, which is absolutely ridiculous. And she had a 29% growth percentage on the period, which sounds like a lot, but it's actually not a lot. As you'll see here, I don't even think that's going to make the top 10. One thing I did notice, I mean, the only thing I could think of that points to her slowdown was that she went from making quite a few videos. She only made 34 videos in the last 2 years, which comes down to she averaged 1.4 videos per month over the last 2 years. And we'll see that that's not going to be enough to get her done. One thing, a couple other things. It seems like a lot of the big beekeepers from, when did I start doing this? 2020 to 2024. I collected this data for like 4 years, every single month for everybody. And the big ones were like Ian, the Canadian Beekeepers blog, obviously Frederick Dunn, Randy, the 628 Dirt Rooster, those guys. David at Barnyard Bees, he was huge. I mean, I remember watching him when I first started, and his videos were doing really well. And let's look at David specifically, because he's not going to come up on any top 10 lists. In the period, he only had 1.5 million views in 2 years, which is a small percentage of his overall viewership. He only gained 2,000 subscribers. He had less than 1% growth in the last 2 years, less than 1%. And he made 43 videos. And that sounds like a lot, but that's a lot slower pace than what he's used to. Speaking of the Dirty Rooster, old Randy McCaffrey, he had just under 3 million views. Did a little bit better than Barnyard, but not a ton. He did have 6,000 subscribers, 4.8% growth on the period, and he made 59 videos. So I feel like he's made less videos than usual. So it seems like Dave, Randy. Let's look at Frederick. 5 million views, 19,000 subs, 14% growth on period. He still made a ton of videos, so he kind of kept the pedal to the metal. 239 videos in the period. Now let me tell you the one that came out of left field, and then we'll get into the top 10s, and I'll quit yapping and reading my sheet here. How's your day, honey? I must have added this channel right at the end of the data collecting experiment because I don't even remember this channel. I literally could have added it the month that I quit, and that's why I don't have a lot of memories about it. But How's Your Day, Honey has really done a good job. Gained almost 500 million views in the last 2 years. Almost more than twice the amount of Texas Bee Works views in the last 2 years. Really significant. 767,000 subscribers, which is like 40% more subscribers on the period than Texas Bee Works. 138% growth on the period, and 164 videos posted in the period. So that, How's Your Day, Honey? I don't even know their name. I know pretty much all these Beekeeper YouTuber. I know most of these channel beekeepers' names. Not like we're on a first name basis, but you just learn it when you go to their channel 1,000 times to collect data. I don't have a clue who this person is, but wow, came out of nowhere. Really, really impressive. So I'm gonna have to do some more digging on them. I didn't have a lot of time when I put this together yesterday, so you'll just have to bear with me. So let's get into the top 10. All right, so there's gonna be a couple spoilers here, and I'll put the picture up on the screen so you don't just have to listen. Top 10 views in period. How's Your Day, Honey? 489 million. Texas Bee Works, 243 million. Flow Hive, they kind of cranked it up. They were kind of an idle channel for years, even though they're kind of a name brand. But in the last 2 years, they definitely made more videos, and they had almost 46 million views in the period. Lawrence at Black Mountain Honey, he has kind of kept the ball rolling with 17 million views in the period. He's definitely cranked it up. Swarmstead, 14 million views in the period. That's a really good improvement over where he was before. David Burns, 8.5 million. Yappy Bee Man, he's slowed down a little bit. 7 million views in the period. Galloway Lights done a really good job because I know that he was kind of just getting some momentum there in 2024. 6.5 million. Mr. Ed, 5.7 million, and Frederick Dunn, 5.1 million. Those are views in the period. Now let's jump over to subs in the period, like we already mentioned, and these aren't going to stray or deviate too far from top views in the period. How's Your Day, Honey? 767,000 subscriptions. Texas Bee Works, 450,000. Flow Hive, 129,000. Kaylee at the Honeystead, 71,000. So notice lots of subs, but didn't make the top 10 for views for Kaylee, which is fine. David Burns, 48,000 subs. Black Mountain Honey, 45,000. Yappy, 26. Fred, 19. Cayman, who also wasn't in the top 10, and neither was Bob Benny here, for views, rounding out 9th and 10th place with 17,000 and 16.6 thousand subs, respectively. So not bad. So how does that look in terms of growth percentage, which basically means how much, it's based on subscriptions, what percentage growth did you have? And this is where we see some pretty strong performance by some of the smaller, newer channels, and some not so much. But Sarah's Happy Hives, look at that. 2,167% increase. That is absolutely gigantic. So good job, Sarah. I do remember that you did seem to be picking up some steam there towards the end of my collecting period, and it looks like you kept the foot on the metal, the pedal to the metal. You kept the foot on the floor. You know what I'm talking about. So good job there. I think she's up to like 8,000 or 9,000 subscribers. So that's really good. I'm super jealous. Second place, Tar Heel Beekeeper, 186% growth. Bushveld Bees with 175% growth. Flower Street Farms, 142. How's Your Day Honey took, what is that, 5th place at 138. Bee Fit Beekeeping, 137. Lawrence of Black Mountain, 133. Taylor Boys Outdoors, they did a good job, 118% growth. Better Bee at 107. And 2 Dove Bees at 104. Good job, everybody. So there's one more metric I'm going to share with you, and it's kind of a silly one, doesn't really represent much, but I was able to cook the numbers enough to where I found a category where me and Jeff at the Lawson's Creek Apiary were able to make the top 10, and that is the average growth per video. So if you take that average growth number, your subscription growth over the period, and you divide that by the number of videos you posted, it basically shows how much growth did you have per effort put in. So did you grow and do minimal work? That's kind of what this is about. And in first place is not to say that Sarah's Happy Hives did minimal work, but I did, and so did Jeff, and we still made the list. So Sarah's Happy Hives, 8% growth per video. That's really good. Beekeeping University, 7.5. Castle Grounds Apiary, oh, where's my number? At 6.5. Bruce and His Bees, 5.1. William over at Dry Cut, 3.98. Lawson's Creek, 3.3. The Texas Beekeeper, 2.5. Stevens Bee Company at 2.4. They Keep Bees and Ashby Farms at 2%. So, you know, basically, other than Sarah's Happy Hives, we all just slacked off and still made some marginal improvement, which is good because it shows that even though we took a break, there was still some growth, there was still some viewership, and we still gained a couple subs. Now, before we close out, because those are the only metrics I wanted to share, I do want to say that on a whole, and I haven't done a year-to-year comparison yet, but it feels like viewership is down a little bit and subscriptions are down a little bit. And we kind of have to filter out the outliers, which is the How's Your Day Honey and the Texas Bee Works. Not that their subscriptions and views don't count, but on a whole, I mean, they have a majority of all the viewership. So when you look at, if you remember, we used to have the big four. I can't even remember who the big four were back in the day, but it was like, I think it was Dirty Rooster, maybe Yappy, Frederick, like those guys. I maybe missed one, maybe Barnyard. And their views are just, they're not what they used to be. But Flow Hive, Lawrence at Black Mountain, Bee Fit Beekeeping, there are a few that are kind of stepping up and taking that place. So it's a little early for me to say. It is kind of evolving, though. If nothing else, the YouTube Beekeeper landscape has changed slightly. The big names, the legacy names, I guess you could call them, are still there, are still doing their thing. None of them have completely quit, but there's definitely fresh blood in the mix, and I think that's a good thing. That's kind of what this experiment from day one, that was its whole intention, was to decide, is there room in this niche for more beekeeping videos? And I didn't find it specifically, but some people did, and that's good news. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you guys. It's been a long time. Me and Jeff at Lawson's Creek, we will be at the Beekeeper Conference in Memphis next week. So if we see you there, that's great. If not, thanks for watching, guys. Later.